And I should start.
3, 4, 5. Okay.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Glad you could join us for this webinar today. The presentation is being done by Diane Przymus. And with us are myself, I'm Deborah Valentine-Smith, the AOBTA president. Matthew Swigert is going to be working with us also with the question and answers. And I just want to give you some housekeeping tips in terms of how to work with the program, with the webinar. So in this webinar, you're in listen mode only. We cannot see or hear you. However, you can submit questions and comments to the presenter by using the Q&A function or the chat function at the bottom of your screen. You should see a toolbar that has those in to click on. And those questions and comments will be addressed at the end of the presentation. Matthew will be fielding those and presenting them for Diane to respond to. This webinar will be recorded, and the recording will be made available to you on the event listing of the webinar on the AOBTA website calendar. So this is the first in a series of webinars celebrating AOBTA's 30-year anniversary and leading up to the convention in the spring of 2021. The theme of the convention is the three treasures, Qi, Jing, and Shen. And Diane has titled this presentation, The Full Practice Formula, Applying the Wisdom of the Three Treasures and the Five Elements to Your Practice Success. So Diane is an AOBTA member. She's been practicing shiatsu for the past 18 years, and she's been supporting other healers in their business since 2012 as an intuitive business coach, as well as a business and marketing instructor at the Center for Massage in Asheville, North Carolina. Her approach includes applying five-element theory to assessing and treating stagnation in business, helping healers discover their unique gifts and who they can best serve. And she teaches healers how to authentically market and attract a full practice of ideal clients. So we're real excited to have you, Diane. It's up to you.
Okay, thank you, Deborah. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here with you today. Thank you for taking the time. I want to acknowledge you for taking this time to be open to learning, growing, and finding new ways to approach your business. So just by being here, that demonstrates you have a growth mindset. And I'm excited because today we're going to actually take what you know about traditional Chinese medicine and the three treasures and five elements and apply that to the business aspect of your practice. And so my intention for you today is to share with you how you can really see through the lens of Chinese medicine, see your business and work with your business in a new way so that you can experience greater success and fulfillment in that. So we're going to start by just looking at a common problem in our industry, and this is the business aspect. So we love what we do, and this is something that we're good at, we're natural at, but oftentimes there's a struggle at learning how to make a living doing it. And so with this, the majority of Asian bodywork therapists and healers, we begin on the journey with enthusiasm and zest. We hit the ground running. And oftentimes we find that our futon or our table is emptier than we had hoped. This isn't because we haven't tried to market or attempted to get ourselves out there. We've done the marketing tactics that we were taught in school or that we've seen other people do. The clients we have love our work, but we're just not getting the traction that would allow our practice to take off and support us as a livelihood. So one of the things that happens as well as not having enough clients is sometimes you have the clients, but you're burnt out. And so for the other main problem that people experience is that the type of clients or the schedule that they have really drains them and takes away the loving feeling out of their practice. So really, whether you struggle with not having enough clients or just not feeling like you have the work-life balance you need to support you in the work and the passion you need, you're not alone, because almost every practitioner that I've interviewed or coached in my practice has struggled with this problem. And I would love to get a sense of where we are as a group in this webinar right now. So Wayne, if you'd be willing to put up the poll, we're going to take a quick poll just to get a sense of what your experience is and share with people. But this is much more common than most people realize. So if you wouldn't mind, there's 2 questions. You'll have to scroll down for the second one. Just indicate, it's not going to show your individual answers, it's going to show the group answer. So just indicate how satisfied you are, with 10 being completely satisfied right now in your practice. And then you'll have to scroll down for the second question, which is which of these would make the most positive difference in your practice? And then as soon as everyone has submitted their answers, we're going to get the poll posted and we'll be able to see what is actually going on for the group. Okay, so it looks like we've got 17% or at about a 4, 25%, 6. I'm just kind of looking overall. So the majority are right now, it looks around at a 6 or below. And then we've got some people at a 7, an 8, and a few people at a 9. So as you can see, I would say we've got kind of a mid-level satisfaction in this group in our practice. So there's definitely a lot more capacity for fulfillment in your practice. And then let's look at what would make the biggest difference for people. So more clients, that's usually the one. And then that's at 58, that's 60%. So majority of people would like more clients as the biggest thing that would improve their satisfaction. And then next up is better self-care. That was my guess. I figured it would be more clients, better self-care. That's what I found in working with people. And then for some people, it's higher fees, and other people, it's better systems. So that's great. So thank you. That's really helpful to see. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is just bring us to the question of why. Like, what's going on? Why is this so difficult? What could be blocking you from having a full practice of clients you love? Now, I've interviewed many healers and practitioners, as well as coached them in their businesses. And I can tell you that the majority attribute the lack of practice success to not getting enough training during massage school. And while this may be true, more so than the lack of training, the thing that I find that's really in people's way is limiting beliefs. So limiting beliefs are unconscious often, and they affect us on many levels. They block what's possible in our business. But the good news is that once you identify the limiting beliefs that are in operation, they do not wield as much power, and now you have the opportunity to clear and upgrade them. So let's look at what some of those limiting beliefs are. I've identified 5 of the most common limiting beliefs that I find among healers specifically. So bodywork therapists, holistic practitioners, anyone in the healing arts. The first one is, I am not enough. So this one, we're going to look at this. Remember that you may or may not relate to all of these. Some of them are, they're unconscious, and so the best way to know if they're operating is if you recognize some of the symptoms of the limiting belief that I'm about to describe. So I am not enough. The way this shows up is that you'll hold back in your business and with your clients. You might have difficulty setting boundaries. You might have difficulty charging enough for your fees, valuing your time, promoting yourself. You may not feel confident. And as Brene Brown says, you may find yourself hustling for your worthiness. So this one's a big one and affects all of the other ones. The next one is I can't have what I want. This one tends to play out when you want more clients, you want a bigger business, and yet you sabotage or procrastinate, because underneath that is a sense that if I get what I want, something else will fall apart. So I'll be burnt out, I won't be able to take care of myself, I'll be overwhelmed, my family will be, sacrifice my family or other values. So that's one way it plays out. Another way is feeling like in order for you to be successful, you have to compromise. So you can't actually have the practice you want, can't actually work with the clients you want. You have to settle, you have to compromise, you have to do this thing that you've seen other people do. So that belief plays out in those ways. And then I shouldn't market or charge for healing. This is a big one. This pretty much gets in the way of us really embracing the business building part. So we kind of avoid all things marketing and business, and we tend to feel uncomfortable about talking about our prices or charging or marketing in general. There just feels like an inner conflict in values that keeps us from really stepping into the potential of our business. And then I'm not good at marketing is the next one. So this one is a fixed mindset. It's a good example of a fixed mindset. Just because you don't have the knowledge doesn't mean you can't become good at it. So I'm not good at marketing can get in the way of learning. So what happens is you'll tend to do some of the safe marketing techniques like marketing your modality or trying to be everything to everyone. So instead of really honing in on the transformation you offer, you talk about the training, the tools, the modalities. And if you think about a carpenter as an example, they don't sell their tools to you. They sell you the house they're going to build you. And likewise, good marketing means that we really decide who we can best help and how we can help them, and then communicate that to people so they really understand the benefit and the transformation that we're offering. And then the last limiting belief that can really be there, and this is one that I really uncovered in working with people. It's not always obvious, but it's a resistance to being visible. And it's really common. So when people start to do this and then they realize, oh my gosh, I need to put myself out there, and there's a sense of resistance around that, this limiting belief is usually at play. And what it does is it keeps you in your comfort zone, and it keeps you from doing things your clients find, because there's a part of you that's just afraid to be out there. Okay, perfect. So those are the main limiting beliefs that are at play. And I can tell you that I have had all of these limiting beliefs in my experience. And one of the things that I experienced in my practice, I started out, I struggled with the business. I had 2 to 3 clients a week. I had a full-time job. And in moving into a full practice, I had to clear these limiting beliefs. And I had to really get clear on my own gifts and my passions and who I'm here to serve and with what. And when I specialized my practice and I began to work with people who were experiencing emotional and physical pain and help them to learn how to lean in, to work with, and to discover the wisdom that their body had for them through that process, I became really able to find clients who were looking for this work, who wanted to embody themselves, who wanted to learn to be more present and to learn how to express their purpose. And so it became a perfect way for me to express my gifts of both working with bodywork and coaching and intuition in helping people. And I can tell you, I love my practice. I love my work. It energizes me. And being in business has become such a catalyst for my own healing. I believe that just like our body is a temple for our spirit, our business is a sacred vehicle for our mission and our purpose here. And if we embrace our business in that context, in that from that lens, It's amazing the kind of healing we can experience in ourselves, in our lives, and also offer to others through this process. So I would love to share with you how working with the 3 treasures and the 5 elements can be a way for you to actually create a more conscious business that has its own natural momentum and help you to heal these limiting beliefs in the process. So let's look at the 3 treasures. Just look at those again: Jing, Qi, and Shen. And remembering that Jing is essence. It's the stored energy of life. It regenerates, adapts, determines our genetic potential. And in the metaphor of the candle, it's the wax of the candle. And that's perfect because we know that we have a finite amount of Jing, and so it's very important to preserve and honor what we have. And then Qi is the energy that expresses our vitality. It's the flame in the picture here, in the metaphor. And then Shen is the spirit, or the higher consciousness that directs the Qi. It manifests as love, kindness, compassion when the heart is open. Shen is the illumination. It's the light that the candle gives off. Now let's look at this in terms of how we can apply it to business. So Jing conceives your business. We can reach into the unlimited possibilities to conceive our business from our deepest intention. Jing is the essence, or the DNA blueprint of your ideal practice. We do this by going deep within, finding your purest intention, and imagining what would light your heart up. And we're bringing this energy into the seed. The seed becomes the matter, or the manifest form of this intention. And then that moves into the next treasure of Qi, the part that grows, the vitality that gives the form and the function. This is the actualization of this potential. It generates, develops, and grows our business to express its full potential. And then the Shen illuminates your business. So Shen is within you and your practice out into the world. It's the same Shen that shines forth from our eyes. And the Shen of our business is infused in our brand. When you hear about branding, the most effective branding is authentic. It has its own, in a sense, energy or illumination. And the brand is really the experience that your clients have at every point of interaction with you. It's really what is conveyed when you bring yourself fully into your business. It's authenticity. So when we follow what lights us up, our Shen grows strong. This manifests as love, kindness, compassion, and authenticity. So I'd love to read to you a quote from The Web That Has No Weaver by Ted Katchuk about Shen. Spirit is felt whenever human consciousness forges compelling bonds and special relationships. Spirit is invoked by imagination, will, intention, awe, enchantment, and wonder. Spirit depends on more than mind consciousness. Spirit is self-awareness that fosters the human experience of authenticity and personal meaning. So this is also a really great description of what could create an amazing brand in your business. So Shen is really the treasure that can create an amazing brand. And it's really just about you embodying more of your business, bringing more of you into your practice. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do an experiential exercise so that we can tap into this. Whether you are conceiving a new business or you are upgrading or renewing an existing business, this process can help you to bring in new potential and new opportunities, more fulfillment and more joy. So what I would like you to do, if you would like to participate, is just be in a relaxed position. If you could have a piece of paper and a pencil, that would be ideal, or something to record any information that you receive in this exercise. And then in a moment, I'm just going to lead us through. So the first thing I want to do is just really invite you to exhale and let go. And then open to receiving a deep breath. Let go of what you know, expand, connect, and really sense your oneness with the universe. Let go of the how. If you experience resistance, just notice that with curiosity and non-judgment, openness. Oh, there's resistance. And then come back to the exercise. I want you to elevate, to connect with the cosmos. Imagine you're in the universe. You can say, I'm in the universe, and imagine the vastness of the universe. You can look at the picture and see that and really help that bring that picture into your mind. And now the universe is inside of me. So whether that means that you expand what you consider you to encompass the entire universe, or you remember that we are made of the same stuff as stars, the universe is inside me. And now I am one with the universe. Connect with the pure consciousness, with the emptiness, and then sense within you the answer to this question: what relaxes you? What enlightens you? What lights you up? What would light your heart up right now? And really have a relaxed, open mind. If you don't receive anything, that's fine. You've asked the question, that's enough. It will come to you in time. Maybe you are wishing for more peace. Maybe you're wishing for more clients, or more income, or travel, or relationship, or other things. Open to whatever comes forward. And you just be in this space right now. You don't have to write anything down yet. You can just allow yourself to relax and receive. And then behind every desire or goal is a feeling that we want to experience. Let's go directly to the feeling. What are the feelings that you want to experience more of in your life? Are you wanting more joy? Are you wanting a greater sense of freedom? Are you wanting more playfulness? More abundance? What are the feelings you want to have? More ease? Just notice that. And then allow yourself to connect with those feelings in this moment. So see if you can intend to allow yourself to feel that way right now. What would it feel like to feel more relaxed? And then just allow your body to reposition. What does joy feel like? Just begin to allow yourself to begin feeling this way as much as you can in this moment. Our mind is very powerful, and we can actually access different emotional states just with our will. So give yourself permission to begin to feel those ways just right now without anything changing on the external. And then take a deep breath and really let that integrate. And now, what are some of the ways that you would like to dance with life? What are some of the ways you see yourself engaging and interacting in the world? Let go of the parameters of how you see yourself or who you believe yourself to be, and really lean into other experiences that are calling you. Maybe you want to do body work outside in nature, or more energy work. Maybe you want to write a best-selling book. Maybe you want to do public speaking, or you want to do yoga on the moon, or trek in Nepal, or just have more quiet time. Whatever it is, let yourself start to see what are some of the ways you would like to move in the world more, both in your practice and in your life? No limits. Just honor what comes in. Be open. We're dreaming and infusing the seed of your new business with Jing. So for example, if travel is something that you're wanting more of, you're putting in more abundance automatically just by allowing that, right? And if more joy is something you're wanting, you're programming into that blueprint more presence, more present moment or mindfulness in your life. So just by really following what feels good and what allows you to open, what allows your heart to light up, you are imprinting the seed with the blueprint for that potential. So now just allow yourself for a moment to imagine that you have this dream practice and this life. See it bigger than you can even imagine. So your vision is starting to come in, and go beyond this vision. Stretch to the vision beyond the vision for a moment, just to expand and realize, whoa, there's even a vision. We're always growing and evolving. What's the vision of your higher self, of your future self, even beyond what it is now? You know, go beyond what you allow yourself to see for now and go, whoa, what else? What's even bigger? What feels almost impossible but feels juicy? Just give yourself permission to really expand that desire and that intention and that awareness. When we do this, we tap into areas that sometimes we don't even allow ourselves to dream about. And it's important. We want to bring this in, right? We want this seed to be so powerful and so aligned with our higher self and who we truly are. Okay, so now I'm going to have you just take a breath and integrate all that, and just intend that you are bringing with you everything that you need to remember. Feel your feet on the ground, come back into the room, and I want you, you can open your eyes if they were closed. I want you to see some questions that I've put on the screen. And this is a time where I'm going to give you a couple moments to write down anything that you saw. Now, some of it may not make sense logically. Write it down. It's all part of you tapping into your intuition and your guidance system. So anything that comes, even if it's a color, a sensation, an image, whatever it is, it doesn't have to make sense. Just write it down. Okay, so just take a couple more moments just to jot down any notes, or I should say one more moment to jot down any notes that'll help you remember. The questions are, what would really light you up? That was the first question. How would you like to feel in your life and practice? What would you like to do? What are some things you don't even know how they would integrate into your practice, but you just feel them? Like for me, I love studying about plants and medicinal plants and just edible plants. I don't know if that will ever be part of my practice, but it brings me joy. Maybe it will, I don't know, but it's something that I love doing and I always see every time I do this. And then how would you like to be supported? That's another question. I didn't ask in the meditation, but just things like, you know, that could be, I want to be able to get a massage every week, or I want to be practicing yoga or meditation, or I want, you know, to outsource my admin or my bookkeeping. I want to hire someone to do some aspect of something in my life or business. So more support. How do you want to nourish yourself? I want to travel. Traveling can be greatly supportive. More education can be greatly supportive. So just jot those down. Beautiful. So now we're going to move into the next part, which is really the chi part. It's how we actualize our business. So once we get connected and we infuse the seed of our potential business, we conceive it from that higher consciousness place, The next part is that we are going to move into the treasure of Qi. And this is where we start to actualize it. You saw the little sapling coming up. So the question I like to ask is, what's going to help us feel stronger, more nourished, inspired, and energized? So I'm going to ask you that question again, and jot down anything that comes to mind, even if it doesn't seem logical yet. What's going to help us feel stronger, more nourished, inspired, and energized? Beautiful. And so when we cultivate the treasure of Qi and we're encouraging the formation of our business, the first thing that comes forth is the vision. And the vision you've already started to bring into the seed, but more and more the vision will start to fill out. And some parts of the vision that I put on here are your ideal schedule. So maybe you only want to work 3 days a week or 4 days. Maybe you want to see 10 clients a week. Maybe it's 20. So whatever your full practice is for you, that's yours. There's no external definition of a full practice. It is what feels like a full practice to you right now. Your income. A lot of people, when I coach them, they don't even know or really want to say what they'd like. They might say what they need, but what would you love? So give yourself permission to be like, I would love to be able to make this. Imagine the best version of yourself, someone who's generous, abundant, able to show up well, cared for and nourished, and really do all of the things that are going to enhance your ability to be there for your clients. What amount of money would allow you to take care of yourself, your family, any other responsibilities in your business in a way that would feel amazing? And maybe even, be generous in your community. Like a lot of people, if you start to think about how could you give if you had more than enough, what income amount, really allow yourself to, what income amount lights up for you. So maybe go beyond what you usually think about and really give yourself a number. That's a great way to start to bring in the formation. And then your impact. What's your mission? This is something that takes a while sometimes for people to articulate. It's okay if you can't put it into words, but really just holding space for the impact that you want to have and getting clear on what that is so you can put it into words. The specialties, wanting to be known for and be able to become an expert in, be able to be so skilled and gifted in these areas that you just feel a sense of great passion, confidence, desire to help people because you can. And then clients, your soul-aligned clients you connect with, you love working with, that energize you, that love you, that you love, just really your tribe. Your gifts, like part of this is, in coming into our practices, we need to actually really look at what our natural gifts are. And oftentimes we don't know because they come so naturally to us, we take them for granted. So taking a little time to discover your gifts. And then creative marketing, really finding out how marketing can be fun and how it can be natural to you and authentic and can be part of what you enjoy doing rather than something that you avoid. So this part is really for you to take a moment, and I want you to sense if there's anything right now that you can see, sense, hear, know about your business in this moment, anything coming through. We're connecting in with your higher self, and we're asking you to download more and more information as I'm speaking, ideas, clarity, and just write it down. As you write it down, you're actually moving it into the stages of actualization. So take a moment and write down anything that you're getting and just be relaxed. If you don't have the answers right now, that's okay. You will live into them and they will come to you because we have a space right now where we're asking. So just trust that all of that's going to come in time. Okay, and you can always take a screenshot. There'll be a replay, so you can always come back to this and spend as much time as you'd like. But I'm going to move on now to Shen, how to apply that. So Shen is really about how you move more of you into your business and then convey that in your marketing materials. So Shen is really, like we said, the illumination, the light you bring, what sets you apart, how you bring light into the world. So we start by asking this question. I'm going to ask it and then give you a moment to answer. Who are you and what lights you up? It's a big, vague question. So it doesn't have to be anything specific. Whatever comes, and if nothing comes, that's fine too. Who are you and what lights you up? You can list things. Just first thing that comes to mind is a good way to go about these kind of questions. And then, what message would you like to share? So that means something that's really important to you that you wish you could share with people more, you wish you could somehow convey to people. For example, I like to, really give people the message that whatever they're feeling, it's okay to be feeling that they have a safe place and that there's acceptance and space for them to have whatever experience they're having. That's a message that's important to me to convey. So what are the messages? It's not just one message, but a message or some messages that feel like you want to communicate that. It doesn't have to be verbally, it could be through your hands. That healing is possible, that it's okay to relax. And then here's the big one, no pressure on this. What is your mission? So this one, we're not writing a mission statement right now. This is really just for you to start asking that question, like what is the impact? So for me, one of my missions, I would say, is really to help people realize that our healing is the world's healing. So whenever we do healing work on ourselves, we're actually impacting, because we're all connected, everyone and everything on the planet. And also that that business is a vehicle, it's a sacred vehicle for transformation and healing, and also for uplifting consciousness on the planet. I really believe that we can do amazing things through our business practices. It's just another way to interact and to relate with people. And when we're authentic and we're serving on a level of love, amazing things can happen through business. And we can see that in the world. Conscious, social, heart-centered businesses are changing the world. And so that's part of my mission as well, is to reframe how we see business and marketing. So those are a couple examples, but just anything. It can be simple, like touch is safe. I want people to feel safe in their bodies. Whatever it is, this is something that you can work on and craft. It's really a fun exercise, and there's more resources I can give you on this if you're interested. Okay, so what I'd like to do is just talk about how when we are being authentic in our business, when we're bringing our passion and when we're following what excites us and what lights us up, that's where we have that joy and that passion and that energy and the inspiration in our practice. And when that happens, we just attract people. People want to work with us. They want to refer people to us. And so Shen is so important. And just like in the three treasures, if you study them from a health perspective, the Jing and the Qi have to be strong in order for the Shen to shine through. And so when people's health is compromised, oftentimes, the Shen will be a little bit dull. And so that foundational work that we started doing today is really important. And I look at it as like the GPS system. So the Jing, another metaphor, you can think of that as the coordinates or the destination, the North Star, what you've programmed kind of into where you're going. The Qi is really like the route, the path, the journey, the experience. And then, and the energy it takes to move there. And then the Shen is really your guidance system, what helps you, stay on track, what helps you know you're on your path. So we know that by really tuning in, following our intuition, listening within, and we as healers and bodywork therapists, we've developed incredible sensitivities. So we have this incredible guidance system. So our Shen is always talking to us. It's showing us our higher self through the way we are shining into our business and into our lives. It's giving us indications. And so when we bring more of us and it takes courage to be more who we are and trust that, be more visible. What happens is that people begin to recognize something. That's our brand, and it's ripple effects in the world. And eventually we have the ideal word of mouth practice where we don't really have to market because the market, it's got its own momentum, like an airplane, we're in flight. So Shen is so important. And the way that we can really do that is to show up, to be ourselves, to take care that we're actually listening and running our business according to our intention and our inner direction. And that we're moving through places that we get stuck. We're going to go into that now in a minute. So one of the things you can do with this is you can ask yourself, what is how can you bring more of you into your business and convey that in your marketing materials? So through your origin story, like what got you into this work and why you started the business, through your message, through knowing who you work with, how you help them, and then also how you put that on your business card and your website, your elevator pitch, like when someone says, what do you do? Being able to really communicate that in a way where you're showing up fully, you're not hiding, you're like, this is what I do and I'm excited about it. So that is more of the tangible way that we can work with and cultivate more Shen in our business. And of course, following our heart and really noticing what's energizing us and lighting us up. Okay, so that's a lot. So in summary, Jing, Qi, and Shen, those are three things that are really the essence of the recipe for a full practice. So the full practice formula, if you use those to conceive or to renew your business, you're going to notice more momentum. You're going to notice more clarity, guidance, synchronicity, passion, and even just the ability to take more inspired action. Because at the end of the day, the action is what really moves this forward. But if we don't have the other things, the natural chi moving, it can take a lot of work and we can get little results. So really work with those, and you're going to have an opportunity to learn how you can do that more. But that's super important. The 5 elements, I want to move into that now. This picture that you can see on your screen, this is how I look at the 5 elements and how I apply it to business. So you can see that the water element, so we're in winter, and we're really working with, more the potential, the seed, the dormant, what's the intentions, the Jing, all of that. We've kind of been in the water element to start with. So we work with that. We move into wood, and that's where we started moving into more clarity and actualizing that into maybe the business model, the plan, the specifics of the business, and then getting clear on who you're going to work with and how, your gifts, all of that. That's wood, setting the parameters around your practice. And then once that's in place, we start to move into fire. So we're starting now to move from more of the internal, more yin, building, developing, and into expanding like fire. And so here, this is where we start to become more client focused. We have something of value. We want to serve. How can we easily help our clients find us? This is the marketing part. Authentic marketing, really the best definition is showing up, being you, knowing how you can help, what your gifts are, who you can best serve, and then finding ways to build bridges or channels so that those clients can easily find you. And so you talk their language, you communicate on those levels. That's the fire. And then we move into earth. Now we've got more clients. Now this is like the harvest. How do we nourish our clients that we have? How do we nourish ourselves? How do we create some systems that allow us to keep our capacity open and flowing? And so really this is where we get to do more self-care. We get to look at how can we really support ourselves, our practice, our clients. And then moving into metal, this is a place where we can kind of like the fall energy, we can look at what is it time to let go of? What limiting beliefs are in our way? How can we value ourselves more? How can we clear those limiting beliefs around receiving and around money so that we can increase the income and the impact? How can we stretch beyond how we see ourselves now so that we can bring even more of our true selves, our higher selves, into our practice and into our work. And so then the cycle completes, just like a cycle, it keeps moving through. And so we are continually evolving and allowing our business to become even more an expression of who we are. And we can use the 5 elements to do this and to move through this in a way that's natural, the creation cycle. We can also use 5 elements to assess what might be getting in our way, and what areas need more energy, what areas are stagnant, so whether we are, nourishing or we're dispersing, we're working with the 5 elements in our business. And so that's what I'd like to say about that. That's a really good tool. You can work with this on your own. You can see what comes to mind when you look at that. And what I'd like to do now is take this into a more specific realm for you in your life. And this is where I want you to mindset and stretch beyond your comfort zone in 2020. So I want you to choose at least one area below to focus on. So you can look at the 5 areas and decide which one is really an important focus for 2020. You can work on all of them, but find your priority. And you can read these, you can take a screenshot. And all of these areas allow you to really start getting more momentum going in your practice. And then what we're going to do is I would like you to write down which area you're going to focus on, your main priority, and then if you have other areas, write those down below. So, you can start with water, since that's where we are, and move through, but it might be that right now you really need more clients. And so you might start there as a way to get started. And really, you might realize, gosh, I don't know who I'm going to work with, who I'm supposed to work with. So you might need to go to Wood and get clear on your gifts and who you're here to help and how before you create a marketing plan. So I encourage you to really look at this and use this as a tool for planning your work in 2020 and creating some action steps for yourself so that you begin this process. And I want you to know that I am going to be doing a webinar that I'd love to invite you to. It's a free webinar. It'll be listed on the AOBTA calendar. It's on February 12th. And it's creating your blueprint for practice success. So this webinar series, they're going to be 5 for each season in the 5 elements. And the first one we're going to start with water, and this is going to let you go more in depth. So I invite you to come to that if it resonates and you feel like that would be an area you'd like to go deeper into. And then I also invite you to, if you have any questions or concerns with your business or this process, feel free to send me an email. I've got my email, my website on there. And I would love to get back to you in a day or 2 on that. So those are 2 ways that you can move forward with this and have some support. And I just want to thank you for being here, and I'm looking forward to answering any questions or comments. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, Diane. This is really a lot of food for thought. And okay, thanks, Diane.
You're welcome.
A lot of food for thought. And we want to now open up to the questions and comments that people have been sharing as we've gone along. Matthew, if you want to bring that up. And remember to take the information about Diane's webinars coming up. They're also going to be on the AOBTA calendar. So over to you, Matthew.
Great. Good morning. Awesome, Diane. Thank you so much for a wonderful, inspiring presentation. We had a couple of comments during the flow. One was that facilitating transformation in people, helping them increase their vitality, connecting to their passions, and live from a place of inspiration. This was an answer to the question of what would light up your heart. That was from Jessica Van Antwerp.
Love
So,
it. Mm.
yeah. So that was just a comment. More joy, more freedom, more playfulness, more abundance. All of them was, she wanted to underline those invitations. More joy, more freedom, more playfulness, more abundance. All of them.
Yes, great.
And then there was a question from Deborah saying, do you have suggestions for how to catch ourselves in our limiting beliefs and transform them?
Yes, great question. So one of the things that works really well for myself, and I believe it will for you as bodywork therapists, is to notice what happens in your body. So you can sense if you are going into a limiting belief because you'll feel your energy drop. For some people, you'll almost feel like you close in, your heart closes in. You'll feel tired. You'll feel like you want to give up. You'll feel like it's not worth it. There'll just be a sense of a drop in, you could say, vibration, in possibility. And so when that happens, what I like to do, if I don't catch myself, I will try to avoid that feeling because it doesn't feel good. But if I'm conscious and mindful, I encourage myself to lean in even more. Like, oh, what does that feel like? And sink into the feeling. And when you sink into the feeling in your body, and this is great for clients too, guiding them through this process, you can actually find the emotion and usually the message behind the emotion right there. Sometimes it'll appear to you in your mind. You'll hear it as oh, you can't do that. And that's a limiting belief because it's like the inner critic. But if it's not so perceptible like that, you can actually go through the body, find the feeling, and then ask, what's the belief being held here? And you'll get it. And then once you have it, now you bring it to the light. And the important thing is not to judge it and just be like, okay. And an exercise I like to do is to make a smaller version of myself, like my ego, imagine it on my hand and let it rant and rave. So I give it permission to really express everything, and then I can more easily work with that. I can say, okay, so you're saying I'll never be able to do that. I tried it in the past. It didn't work. I see. And you can acknowledge it. And once that part of you has been acknowledged, there's a lot more, just like we do in human relationships, there's a lot more openness to then go, what is the truth? And that's one thing I do is question it. Is it really true? Well, can I think of an example where it's not true? And then what is the truth is a question you can ask when you're meditating, and you'll actually activate and bring in truth from your higher self. And sometimes just that truth coming in will wipe out the limiting belief. Other times it's more of a journey with it and a process for the healing to happen.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Another question came in from an anonymous attendee.
Okay.
What's a good way to determine my fee schedule?
Great question. Okay, so I have a process I'll share that I like to do. So one of the things I do is rather than thinking about a session, I think about the transformation, just like we talked about. So when a person comes in, what is it that they are experiencing? So they have a kind person who meets them. They are invited to relax and to be heard, and like they're heard, they're seen. They get into the parasympathetic nervous system. If you're doing, Asian body work, you're working on a holistic level. So you're strengthening their innate healing abilities. There's the experience of just taking care of themselves and having the oxytocin that comes from relating to another person. So this is a really profound experience. And oftentimes it could take us a week to get relaxed and a lot of money on a vacation. So I like to really have people think about what is it that we're offering from that perspective. And the transformation could be also, depending on what your specialty is, much more than even just that, but that in itself is powerful, right? So once you get to that, I like to ask, what's that worth? Well, gosh, I mean, if I go on vacation for a few days, that's $500, easily. So I'm not saying we're going to charge that, but you want to connect with the value for yourself, because we tend to underestimate ourselves as healers. And so just really value this. So the first thing is to elevate and really connect with the value. The second step is to intuitively say, what is the price that feels right? So you go to your intuition next, okay? And then the third step is to go, okay, who is my niche, my target market, and what price point makes it accessible for them?
You're breaking up. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
That's
okay. What's the price point that makes it accessible to them? And
right.
Then at that point, you've got, 3 different numbers. What's the last question I ask is, what is the going rate in the market? And how do these numbers, sit? So for example, if you say this could be like $500 in terms of what the person is experiencing versus, compared to a vacation, but my intuitive price is 90, and, that my clients could probably pay 80, you might go with 80. Does that make sense? Because you want the gateway to be open for them. And if the going rate is 65 or 70, you have to look at what sets me apart. What's the experience I'm offering? And am I specific? Do I have a niche? Is it something, that's general or not? And from that place, you can get a ballpoint figure for pricing. So I say set your prices from your integrity, value yourself, but also balance that with making sure it's accessible to the people that you serve. And you can get creative about how to do that.
Great.
Were you able to hear that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I believe it came through quite well, and it'll be on the recording.
Okay, excellent. And if there's other questions about that, you can send them to me in my email.
There's no direct reply from Anonymous on that.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, Anonymous. That's great. Another comment came in from Wendy. She says, it's great to see how we use our own tools for body, mind, spirit to apply to business. She loves that 5-element take.
Yay. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I love it too. And I feel like within our profession, it's, really infinite possibilities for how you can apply this. And it's about reconnecting with our passion, because we love this. So it also infuses more passion in our business if we bring it to our business.
Mm-hmm.
I think of the business as our body, so it's similar in terms of energy flow and pathways.
Right. I think there's actually a Indian model from the chakra system where the body is like the merchant class. The head is like the Brahma class, and then the body is the merchant class, and then below the navel they have the lower caste system with their caste system. But there's this idea of the middle of the body, where that whole heart area is how we come from service, to serve humanity and serve the community. And so our merchant class is actually the class that serves.
I love that.
Civilization.
Ooh, I love that. That's brilliant. And that is, how I see business, is it's a way for us to serve. It's the vehicle. Yeah, right. I love the merchant. That's beautiful. Thank you. It's great. Yeah. I'm going to look that up.
Focusing on the transformation, as you suggested, that we don't sell, a carpenter doesn't sell his hammer. He sells the house he's building.
Yes.
We don't sell shiatsu or tuina. We sell the transformation that shiatsu or tuina provides.
Yes. Exactly. And a lot of times people will have a fear that comes up, like, what if I can't build that house? Or what if that doesn't happen? And I remind them that, we know that healing has a mysterious process, that it's innate to the person. And sometimes the journey is part of the healing process.
Yeah.
So we can do our best to show up and facilitate that, but we also have to trust the innate healing and the journey of the person. We're not fixers.
Right.
And so that's an important distinction. And when you're not a fixer, it's much easier to talk about the transformation, because we know, as the placebo effect, just knowing what's possible is healing. Just knowing that you might be getting cured can actually heal. So,
nice.
Our marketing is part of that.
Yes, great.
One more comment came in from Piers. He says, thank you for a very helpful and amazing class. He really enjoyed your ideas and the meditation.
Oh, yay. You're so welcome. It's been a joy. Thank you.
I just want to remind everybody about that webinar on the 12th, February 12th at noon.
Yes, we'll go more in depth in this, and there'll be more time for specific questions about your business and what's coming through. So if you liked this, we'll go deeper then.
Great.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Diane. This is, we're at our time limit, but this is a wonderful webinar. We really thank you for presenting it for us. And
oh, you are so welcome. It's my joy to do this, and love AOBTA and everyone in it. It's great to connect with all of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Take care, everyone, and many blessings in 2020.